bro. Like, let me throw it in the chat. Like, niggas be
Yeah.
forgetting about Walter. Niggas be forgetting about, you know what I'm saying? Niggas still talk about Bo. But, you know, if you had to
Did we forget about
put
Walter
your
though?
order, I mean, niggas don't be, you know what I'm saying? Niggas talk more Emmitt Smith and
Then Walter
you'll
Payton.
and a little more sometimes, bro. Niggas act like, you know what I'm saying? And Jim Brown. Niggas still talk Jim Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, if you Jim Brown stats, bro, this nigga was a fucking animal.
So was OJ. And so was Sweetness.
OJ was definitely an animal. Sweetness was absolutely an animal. He's my number two all time.
He's your number two
Actually,
all
he's my
time?
number one. I like Barry. Barry and Walter, I think their careers overlapped. I think Barry started in the late 80s. And then right when Sweetness was in his prime. So they had career overlap, but I still got Sweetness. I'm sorry. He was just different. But as you were saying, though, I mean, there are definitely players like Steven Jackson. Nobody talks about Steven Jackson, bro. Steven Jackson
Right.
was a
You know
fucking
what I'm
animal.
saying? The animal. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's running backs that, like, prime example, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Hmm.
Might not had the always the jaw breaking stat line, but niggas don't talk about Drew the way he was because he was impactful. CJ2K. Think about CJ
And yeah, and he had the fucking 1-2 punch with
with
fucking
Fred.
with my dog. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
you know what I'm saying. So I ain't got nothing against uh Maurice Jones-Drew. I feel like bro was decent.
would you take
You
Arian
know what I'm
Foster
saying.
over
He was
Maurice
definitely one
Jones-Drew?
of the. Would I take Arian Foster? I'm sorry, I would. I'm sorry,
Mm.
I would.
Mm.
I'm absolutely taking Foster over Maurice Jones-Drew.
Mm.
5 days out the
5 days
week.
out the week, but not twice on Sunday.
5 days out the week. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's definitely gonna be on Sunday. It's definitely gonna be on Monday. Definitely on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Give me Maurice Jones. I mean, give me Arian Foster. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a Tuesday night, then we watch the NFL Network. That's probably when I'll pick Maurice Jones-Drew over Arian Foster. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough. I
Yeah,
fuck with it.
I'm just saying.
Mm. I got another one for you then. Arian Foster.
What we sipping on? Man? What's in the lethal cup?
Little Crown Royal app. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Pick straight from the apple tree. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. I ain't got nothing but a little bit of that darkness. You know what I'm saying? All in the bottom. You know what I'm saying? That strawberry. You know what I'm saying? And not only do we got the strawberry limonada, but we also got some good old ganjuan. You know what I'm talking about? Some good old ganjuan. If I could get my lighter to work in honor of 2-5, I have to get up real quick.
Tough. They say he has to heat up the blunt.
I do. Hold on, wait. Is this lighter operational?
Why you don't got a bit? You got these crackhead lighters.
Oh, pussy bitch, pussy bitch. All right. Yes, Lord. All right, my dog. While 2-5 is waiting to come back, now that the draft is over, you've had time to create your analysis. You've had time to think about it. You've had time to look over the rosters and the draft picks. Who do you think lost the draft?
No.
Mm, if I had to actually guess, bro. Well, I wouldn't even say guess. After what I looked into it, low key, bro. Low key. I think the Cowboys lost it.
Hmm.
I'm not pleased at how the Lions handled their draft in part se.
Mm-hmm.
And
No. Put it down.
I think the Chargers, they hit on Hampton. But I think after that is like, I'm not sure.
You don't think Trey Harris was a good pick?
I don't know, bro. I feel like it was other receivers that they probably could have went after.
Shit, I would have took Trey Harris. Receiver that we need, Trey Harris, big body. Hey yo. But
Yeah.
so yeah, if you were to ask me though, team that I think lost the draft, Detroit. I don't even know if I could tell you who their first round pick was. Yeah, I think Detroit didn't have a stellar draft. Buffalo, they had a good first round pick.
Bro, Buffalo
But
had a sleeper draft, bro. No, you can't say they had a worse draft. This shit was definitely tough, bro. Like the way the Ravens had their draft is the same way that Buffalo had their draft, bro. They had a tough draft, bro. They shit was sweet, bro.
yeah, I'm not sleeping on the Bills for sure. I'm not sleeping on the Bills one bit. I'm actually, you know what I'm saying, excited to see what the Bills come back and do because again, MVP Allen, finally, MVP Allen. You know what I'm saying? Earned it.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And now
Okay.
that he's got that most valuable monkey off of his back, we can focus on what really matters in Buffalo. And that is achieving what Jim Kelly could not do for 4 years.
That's the same for Lamar, though, bro. We got the same expectations for Lamar, bro.
Now it's time to actually propel your team to playoff success and playoff victory. And I have a question, and I don't know if 2-5 is a video game here, but I will bring this up just so we can have something to ponder about until he returns. Who, if anybody, because I think it just recently happened, who, if anybody, either A, survived the Madden curse or excelled despite the Madden curse? So they just fell off or they did way better than they were supposed to.
I don't think anybody has, bro. I mean, everybody that landed on the Madden curse has had the curse happen to them, bro. CMC, Larry Fitzgerald, Troy Polamalu, Ray Lewis, McNabb, Vic. You know what I'm saying? Peterson.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Josh Allen on the cover of 24?
And did he not get hurt that year? Also, he had that elbow.
Also, he came back and won MVP.
But he still had an elbow. He missed, and he didn't go to the Super Bowl.
He won an MVP the next year.
But he still got hurt. He still hurt his elbow. It was like week 9. He had played with an elbow injury the whole year, and they didn't advance to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, either way, you fell the short of expectations. Like, the Madden curse is a big deal.
What was Rob Gronkowski's Madden curse? I think he was on the cover of 17.
He got hurt. Was it that the year that y'all went to the Super Bowl that he didn't play in because he was hurt?
The Eagles jump, or was that the Falcons jump? He ain't playing the Falcons jump.
You know what I'm saying?
He did the Eagles jump.
Because last Super Bowl, I remember Gronk on the Patriots playing in was the Rams joint.
Mm-hmm. That was like 2 years later though, so I don't even know if that counts. So does the Madden curse have to be that next season, or is once you get on the cover, it's like your career is done?
No, it depends though. You know what I'm saying? Because Ray Lewis' career wasn't done when he went on that joint. He still ended up winning another Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? AP career wasn't really done after he was on that joint. It's just for that season. Because think about CMC, the year that he got put on the cover, that next season, he got hurt. It's always the season. It's always the following season. It's the season that you come into. So just like with Jamar Chase, they asked about Chase being on the joint. He's like, bro, don't put me on that joint. I ain't gonna never get on that joint. Staying away from that joint.
Put my nigga on a joint, man.
If you get Drake May, if your nigga Drake May end up on a Madden cover, bro, you count your next season. Just go ahead and count your next season a loss.
I'm talking about my nigga Cam.
Bro, it would have been even worse, bro. I'm glad Cam ain't get on that joint.
Nigga on the joint, bro. That white background with that white Carolina jersey. Oh,
you talking about that 15? You talking about that? You talking about the 15 in 1 year?
Yes.
his MVP year.
Yes, they should have put him on the jump, bro. And then he would have hit the. Oh my god, they should have did that, Joe, bro. Had my nigga Cam with the dab on the. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I ain't
You
mad
can't
at it.
tell me
I'm
that
not.
shit wouldn't have been.
I'm not mad at
The
it. I'm
all white, just picture back then. This when the front cover was the all white jump with just a little strip, bro. The all white with the all white Carolina with the white towel
oh,
over
we,
the head with the black jump, the black head cap, nigga. Just damn.
oh yeah.
Come on, bro. It's just gone. All right. But
Because
yeah,
even
so
Odell, bro. Because when Odell got on the joint, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
Odell John tricked up. Hell yeah. And that was
You know what I'm
man
saying.
16. That would have been the year that Cam technically could have got on the jump. That would have been his year. So you know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Odell Beckham definitely got on the jump and his career was never the same.
In
His
spite
shit
of
was
winning the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying.
hell
He
yeah.
got
I mean,
hurt.
yeah, he did contribute to that Rams jump. He caught a touchdown. He
He
caught a
did.
touchdown in that
He
jump.
did. He
You know
did.
what I'm saying? Shout out to OBJ for
You
sure.
know what I'm saying. So it's a give or take on that joint, bro. You know, I just hope none of my niggas see the cover, bro. Just as much as Jamar Chase said the same thing, bro. I'm staying away from that bitch as long as I can.
Was that a decent response time this time, Residente?
Much better than earlier, I'll tell you
And
that.
we
My dog El Residente saying Jose representing live in the motherfucking building, currently in transit. What's going on, my brother?
Y'all already know what it is, man. Every day is another day. We out here getting it.
Absolutely,
Uh,
dog.
shout out. I
So
just want to start off by saying shout out to Jalen Brunson. You know,
like
what's
I was
crazy is
saying, man, we were having a
what's
little
crazy.
mini conversation.
What's crazy is last night I was actually hoping for the Pistons to win, but for Jalen Brunson, like even when I'm rooting against him, you just can't. He just comes through, man.
let me see him do it
The
against the
Knicks come through.
Celtics. Let me see him do it against Cleveland. Let me see him do it against. Let me see him get to the finals, and then I'll pay attention to Brunson a little more.
You know what's crazy, right? Because I know y'all know the game, right? Y'all know the sport, right? Tell me how many game winners Kobe Bryant has against top two teams.
Well, I know he has. I don't know what specific teams. I know he has the most contested shots made in history, though.
My question was not no, because then we can go to Jalen Brunson and then look those numbers up. I'm pretty sure they'd be comparable. But if you're just talking about how many like because this is the point. I hate when people do that. That's called a goalpost move,
That's
right?
not a
Oh,
goalpost move.
but he's not he ain't clutch until he do it against this team, and this team. Kobe Bryant's biggest game winners are against like the Charlotte Hornets, the Phoenix Suns when they weren't good. They weren't against the best teams in the league.
Well, we in the playoffs right
He
now.
didn't do it in the
I'm going off of
finals.
the.
He did,
I'm
wait,
going
Well,
wait,
how
off
many
of
wait.
the
how many pl-
playoffs.
how
He
many
didn't do it in the
playoff game
finals.
winners he got? How many playoff game winners he
How
got?
many playoff game winners he got?
Who Cole?
Yeah.
Kobe.
I'm not by my computer to pull up the stats.
You don't got to be by the computer. Y'all be telling me who the players from the Utah Jazz from 1981 was. Don't tell me you like to do now.
I don't go that far,
Hold
Red.
on, I'm
Like
gonna look it up right now.
93.
Like, yo, yeah, remember when Jimmy Tutu Fly was playing for the Washington Bullets? Like, no, dog, I don't remember any of this.
All
Basketball,
I,
but y'all's favorite player.
go ahead.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying what Jalen Brunson is doing is extremely remarkable. Like I don't know what the NBA Clutch Player Award is or why they created it, but he definitely deserves it. Dude plays ball, man. Like he just plays ball, man. Like he's a ball player. He's like Cam
I feel,
Ward. You know what
I
I
feel
mean?
you, bro.
He just
I
wants to be
don't have,
known as
I
an
don't have no
American
beef with you.
basketball player. He ain't rapping. He's not rapping. He ain't putting out mixtapes. All he doing,
Damn, there's some undertones in there.
all he doing, he ain't got no podcasts.
You know what
He's
I'm
just
saying?
playing
He's wearing
basketball,
the
bro.
alma mater pin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Clean cut.
all he doing is playing basketball, bro. Like you wake up, you run to the gym. Like, dude is nice, man.
That's tough.
Dude
But
is
yeah,
nice, man.
again, before we get too far, definitely shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? They definitely won this series. I don't think they get more than 2 games against Boston, but you know, we definitely gonna
They
find
didn't.
out.
They didn't win this series.
I
Detroit
forgot.
lost.
Jalen Brunson won the series.
No.
No.
Detroit lost
Detroit
that
did a lot of
series.
The Pistons lost that bitch.
Yeah, the Pistons lost that series. The Knicks didn't win nothing.
But you know, I honestly, but seriously, like when the Pistons were up 4 with like a minute left, I was like, they better not let Jalen Brunson touch that ball. I'm dead serious. I said that, and I wanted the Pistons to win.
I just hope that who's the GM in? I was about to say fucking Arthur Blank. Who's the fucking It's a black dude, isn't it?
For the Knicks?
No, for the
you talking
Hawks.
about Leon? Oh, for the Hawks. It was Landry Fields, but he got fired and they hired the assistant GM who is black. Yes.
Shout out to the black man.
All power.
This is gonna be
I
my
can't
question
think of
until-
his name. I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, he is black though.
Until the
That's
fall
right.
time, this is gonna be my only question. Do we continue to try and build it? Because you made a point earlier, and I agree with it. Like the market might not be that big, especially because I mean the situation with Luka, they had to make a decision like that because they felt like the financials just was like, yes, he's a superstar in every right. You can call him whatever caliber player, you can call him the best player in the league, and it's still just not for the amount of defense that he does not play.
So
It's
who
just
won that
not
trade?
worth
If you
Supermax.
who won that trade?
No, the Lakers
The
still
Lakers-
won the
Lakers
trade.
still won the
Before we
trade.
answer that question,
Hmm.
you said what happened?
The
The
Lakers
Lakers
still
still won
won
the
the trade. Just
So-
for the fact that so look, real quick, Cups, I'm sorry. Real quick, my
No,
thought
you good,
about
you
it
good.
is I'm not mad at Nico for trading Luka instead of paying Luka $345 million. The problem is that you only got Anthony Davis. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you could have got Austin Reeves, if you could have got Rui and Finney Smith or something along those lines, maybe it looks a little bit better, but you just got the dude that gets hurt a lot.
Nico,
And he was hurt immediately.
Nico,
And the team that fucked up,
Like-
the team that I think that might have messed up, just looking at it now in hindsight, is Milwaukee. Because if they're going to lose Giannis anyway, and Nico called you and tried to get Giannis,
they're going to lose Giannis.
In return for Luka Doncic, I feel like that would have been, but you know what I'm saying, a little more, maybe not
A little more
blockbuster, but
even.
a little more suitable. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
They're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Because again,
They're gonna lose Luka.
yeah. If you
Anthony
would have
Davis
told
was
me
hurt
like
early on.
if you would have told me that Nico traded Luka and he only got Giannis, I would be like, okay. But when you tell me that he only got Anthony Davis, I was like, that's a dumb son of a bitch.
That was
You
a
only got
finesse.
Anthony Davis,
An
and
easy
Anthony
finesse.
Davis
And
played
I don't know if
5 games.
early and often he was hurt, and I just it's just confusing to me. But as I was saying, like to my original point, with the Hawks, so I don't see them just trying to make a move for the sake of making a move because it's not that bad. I don't think Trae Young is a super max player, 300 M's, but I still feel like they will probably be better off building the team, trying to bring in some pieces rather than keep trying to build around Trae Young. Because I don't know what they need. I don't know what they squandered. I don't know what their scouting department is saying that they need as far as team chemistry, but it just feels like they aren't trying to put it together.
Isn't it smarter for them to just trade Trae Young and get as many assets they can for him, and then to rebuild? If we're gonna say just rebuild the Hawks, isn't it just smarter for them to just trade?
Yes.
And
And you
just
just drafted the number 1 draft pick. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you got something to build around, you know, if Trey leaves or if he's gone.
What's a realistic
You also
trade?
went 1 for 11 in a closeout
So we were
game,
talking
just
about
saying.
this. So me and Cups was talking about this earlier. And I think you could possibly call Orlando. The problem is Orlando would probably have to give up a lot of picks because they don't really have players that's making a lot of money that they would be willing to come off of. You know, so maybe you do
NBA
Jalen Suggs,
In the NBA
Wendell
money
Carter.
match.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe something like Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter, maybe
Why
two
not
first round
Houston?
picks
Why not Houston?
because Houston got enough guards as it is,
Man,
and
they're
Houston
number
got to
3
figure
draft
out.
pick. More.
Right, that's what I was just about to say. They got to figure out what they're going to do to him because there's also rumors that Houston might end up trying to trade for Durant or Giannis. So you might need that number 3 pick that you're talking about for that trade.
And then would we say Denver is out the equation?
No, well for Trey Young, yeah.
Trae Young is useless in Denver.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know, bro. You can move
I don't know, bro.
Murray to
Jamal
the
Murray.
shooter. You can move Murray to the shooter and have Trey run the point with Jokic still, you know what I'm saying?
no,
Doing what
I
Jokic
think
do.
I think Murray and Jokic have too much chemistry to do that.
But will he stay on the floor though?
Hey, all I know is in his career, he averages 6 more points in the playoffs than he does in the regular season. I'm not giving that up.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
Jamal Murray in the playoffs is crazy.
definitely feel
So
you.
that's the thing. And I've been bringing up this
We'll
whole.
come
I
back.
mean, it's probably all right. It's probably not realistic, but I've been bringing up this Ja Morant thing. You know, there's teams out there that could use a Trey Young. I just don't know if those teams want him.
Boston?
Orlando wants him.
Boston man?
Orlando could
Boston
use him,
man?
and they
No,
want
I
him.
can't.
Boston man?
Boston
no,
doesn't make
Boston
sense.
can't get him because Boston's already talking about letting Porzingis and Holiday go.
Yeah.
So you ain't bringing in that type of contract.
And
That's the whole reason.
we know there was going to be casualties.
Well, that's the whole reason that you're getting rid of Porzingis and Holiday is the money. So you ain't going to bring in another contract of one player like that.
Yeah, we definitely trying to fill out the roster with good role guys. You know what I'm saying? Put as much support around
Yeah.
Jason Tatum as possible. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. I don't know if Trey Young will be a good fit while we still have Jaylen Brown and Tatum.
Well, I would imagine that Jaylen Brown would be a part of a trade. But the problem is that Jaylen Brown got those 300 M's. So, saying you got to match that money.
Yeah. For sure. And for all intents and purposes, I think for the minutes that he plays and the role that he plays on the team, I think Peyton Pritchard does everything that Trey Young would do on the team.
Right. I could agree with that. Obviously to a smaller degree, but yeah.
Yeah, smaller degree. Yeah.
And you already know that Peyton Pritchard fits. You know what I mean? Because you would have to probably. Well, you would probably have to include if I'm Atlanta, I would probably ask for him.
If you Phoenix, do you reach out?
If I'm Phoenix, no. The real Phoenix might.
We definitely said that earlier. That Phoenix because has a real opportunity to be like, look, man, we got him.
Well, yeah, like the way that I brought it up earlier was like Phoenix is trying to get rich quick. Because they gotta come off of Bradley Beal, and there's been rumors that if they can't move him, they'll just cut him.
But they also gonna get rid of KD anyway, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like, I don't think that owner wants to roll into next season with just Devin Booker, and I don't think Devin Booker wants to roll into next season with just Devin Booker.
Agreed. So,
but I also think that Devin Booker doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, I think of all the people that's odd man out, I think the homer is going to be the one that stays and ends up trapped in Phoenix. I honestly think Devin Booker enjoys Phoenix. You never really hear him complain and stuff like that. I think he enjoys just being a baller. I don't know how much he desires to win. Could Devin Booker be the best player on a championship team?
I don't think so.
What team? It had to be a certain team, bro. Like if he was on the Pistons, maybe.
If he was on the Pistons, their defense probably wouldn't be as good as it is, and the people that need shots like Hardaway and Beasley probably wouldn't get as many shots. Because you got to remember too, in this playoff series.
Cade and Booker.
Well, no, but that's the thing, Cups. You got to remember they didn't even have Jaden Ivey for this playoff series.
Yeah, and they were right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they had Jaden Ivey, they might win this series. Or Beef Stew would have played. They might win this series.
But I think a Cade and a Booker. I think Booker could definitely offset a Cade Cunningham.
I think Booker needs the ball too much to be next to Cade. Like Booker would be
Like I'm just trying to
the Bradley Beal there.
That's tough.
You know what I'm saying?
Where would Devin? Hey, where could you see Devin Booker being a valuable piece, or maybe leading a team as the best player to an NBA championship?
Okay, he can go to Washington. That's where all players die.
That's tough.
That wasn't the question, sir. That wasn't the question.
What? I mean, but he wouldn't fit in Washington?
I'll be back here.
No, we don't want him in Washington.
No, sir. No, sir. You're getting personal now. I'm asking.
No, it's not about that. No. I'm not getting. I'm not getting personal.
Based on what they have on the floor right now, another scorer wouldn't be beneficial to them.
So this is the thing. Like he doesn't fit the.
He's already got 3 guards.
Like this is that, and so he doesn't fit the timeline. You know what I'm saying? We just drafted a guy that finished 3rd or 4th in the Rookie of the Year race in that position. We're potentially getting a Cooper Flag or a Ace Bailey or something, Dylan Harper this year. So I don't want Devin Booker, because by the time we get to the point where having him on our team will pay off, he's going to be out of his prime. Like he's already been in the league like 9 years, 10 years.
Okay, then.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a while now.
Send him to Portland.
So it's not personal. No, but Portland's in the same boat.
He can't go to Utah.
They're not ready to
Can't
contend.
go to
They
Utah.
on their way, but they're not ready to contend. He can't.
Chicago could use him.
And plus, I don't know what the Devin Booker for Portland. I don't know the Devin Booker DeAndre Ayton relationship either.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that. I think that was a reason.
Yeah. So I don't think that works. And I don't think. Well, I mean, Phoenix got a new owner and new coach. I don't know if he would want Ayton back.
What about Chicago?
No, Philadelphia need to fucking sit still. Hope that they keep their draft pick so they can trade it, and figure out what Paul George's value is.
Well, and that leaves Miami and like I said before, Chicago. He could go to the Heat.
No, Miami could be it, but the question there is Phoenix going to want Tyler Hero?
Is Arizona tax-free state?
It is not.
Well, then that don't factor in.
What about Golden State?
No, they just got Jimmy Butler and.
That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. Buckets. If you bring another shooter in, what does that do? That takes away from his bucket, and he doesn't have the long range like Steph, and he's a defensive liability like Luka.
So if we just swapped out Buddy Hield for Devin Booker, the team gets worse?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think they get worse. I just think that it doesn't significantly move the needle. like just for numbers' sake, I'm just making up numbers right now because I'm not by my computer. But let's just say Golden State won 46 games this year. I think if they get Devin Booker, they might get the 48.
That's tough.
Because you got to remember, Golden State. No, it's not though. You got to remember. You got to see you doing that thing again. Like you looking at names and you not looking at the actual team because Devin Booker doesn't solve their post problems. It doesn't solve them being out rebounded or anything like that. It just gives them another scorer. But
That doesn't play defense.
yeah, so it wouldn't hurt. I'm not saying that he would hurt them.
This would be
You know what I'm saying?
Splash Brothers all over again, reinvented. Curry
No,
can
it
still
wouldn't. It wouldn't because Devin Booker's not that type of shooter. You know what I'm saying? Devin Booker is a mid-range dude. That's you know what I'm saying? He's not a 3-point assassin.
I think he was like 37 from three.
He might have been, but that ain't Splash Brothers, like you know what I'm saying? But that's where the Rockets are the team that I got my eye on because depending on how this series ends, I think it's kind of unfair to call it a blow up, but they're gonna start moving shit and be like, oh, Giannis wants to come here? You know what I'm saying? Like KD wants to come here?
I stand corrected. He was 33 from three this season.
See what I'm saying? That ain't no splash. That's brick.
They're going to have to tweak something if they can't get out of this round because, as previously stated, they can't keep getting here and making first-round exits. If this team can't get them out of the first round, they're going to tweak it.
Well, the problem is, this is the problem that I have with that. You know what I'm saying? Like teams are so, I don't want to say impatient, but this is Ime's second year. You know what I mean? Like most of your core players that are going to be there are 22, 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you don't need to furniture move to get somebody like Giannis, you know what I'm saying, per se. Just get experience with the guys that you got and play them more.
But the management and the league don't give you that kind of time like they used to. They act like Golden State just flipped the switch and all of a sudden started winning rings, as if Mark Jackson never was there. And they started out with what's the kid, Keith Lee? I want to say it's Keith Lee, but the white boy.
David Lee.
David Lee at center. They act as if that never happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like it all started with Andrew Bogut, and we started winning trophies, but it didn't. It started with Mark Jackson. But management don't give teams that kind of time no more.
Well, then stop drafting these young ass dudes. Then, like, just trade all your draft picks and get vets. Then,
Shout out to Sean McVay.
Because we were. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like we were talking about earlier, right? Like Houston missed 14 free throws in Game 3, and Şengün missed a buzzer beater in Game 4. Like those two things reversed. Houston already won this series.
Yeah. One thing that I did notice about D-Book was that, except for his first 3 seasons, he has never had a season where his 3-point percentage was better than the previous year. So, for an example, from 2018 through 2020, his percentage was 36. It went from 32 to 35, back down to 34, up to 38, down to 35, up to 36, and this year it was down to 33. But
see what I'm saying?
From the floor in general, ever since 2018, he hasn't shot less than 46% from the floor.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. He's the mid-range dude, and the NBA to some degree is phasing those dudes out. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Devin Booker would be great on a team if this was 2013 again.
Damn.
So he's a light-skinned Joe Johnson.
Yeah, like he's I mean, obviously he's better than that, but I look at Devin Booker as I'm not making a direct comparison on how they play basketball, but Devin Booker is like the new Carmelo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're great at what you do, but the league has gone past what you do.
Right. Okay. So volume buckets is just not what we need no more.
Well, you need some threes too, and you know what I'm saying. And if you're not gonna be efficient for the most part from three, then you got to play defense. Which I'm not like. Devin Booker isn't a terrible defender. You know what I mean? Like, he's not Steve Nash or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's just not as good as his level of player would make you think he should be.
I think
And you already know what's going to happen if you see Luka.
I think the Suns are screwed. I think the Suns are in purgatory. I think they reached way too hard for. Obviously, everybody knows they reached way too hard for Bradley Beal. Kevin Durant over the hill. Well, not necessarily over the hill. He was wildly efficient this year. I think he averaged like 27, 28, more than LeBron. And people was on LeBron dub all year. But you know, I think that Kevin Durant would do good on a different team. But I just think Phoenix is just they're screwed. They're only going down from here. And unless they let go of Devin Booker, he's going down with the ship.
I think that's what's going to happen. Like they probably will move Devin Booker, but it's going to be either after next season or the season after that because I know he's been talking about how, and I don't know if he's just doing the PR thing, but you know he's been talking about how he wants to stay a Sun and retire as a Sun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like,
can Phoenix get out of their hole quicker than Brooklyn?
Yes, because they already have the head start by having a Devin Booker.
Hold on, wait! Don't throw that shade on Cam Johnson.
No, I like Cam Johnson. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that who you got there with him? You know what I'm saying? Like so this is the thing, and this was one of the things that I brought up earlier. Like if you're Brooklyn and you could find a way to get Trae Young and Giannis, because you got like $98 million or $95 million in cap space or something like that. If you could pull off something like that, it's batter up. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? You got New York, you know, for you and all that kind of stuff. So it's not as far-fetched as it sounds.
But you tried that already 2 times when you got Pierce and KG, and then you turn around and got Harden and KD.
But see, think about what you're saying, though. Think about what you're saying, though. That was old KG and Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? That was injured. That was injured Kyrie, Harden, and Durant. You know, Durant was coming off of ACL or Achilles when they signed him. You okay?
That was just that was just me mimicking the Pistons, bro. My bad.
They was choking. They were choking.
But I mean, Giannis long in the tooth. So what are you getting out of him if you get him? You're gonna have to regulate his minutes.
So is there in y'all, can y'all think of any player in history, whether it be the association or the league, NFL?
All right, hold on, I'll put it back in the oven.
Are there any players that you could think about where they might have started out with their team and their team was successful, and then there was a down year, because we were talking about, you know, if Devin Booker might go down with the ship, where their team was solid or decent or contenders at one point, and then they had to rebuild with a certain player, and then they might have got around to actually building a solid team while that player was still there right after the downturn.
Who was that question for?
Anybody.
Oh,
I mean, I got answers, but they're before y'all timeline, so I'll let y'all young bucks answer that.
That's a tough one.
Does Paul Pierce count?
No,
Okay.
because when he went to Brooklyn, what happened? When he went
No,
to
but I'm saying
Washington,
though,
what happened?
there was a period in Boston where they weren't getting it going.
That's right. It was him and Ala Abdel Nabi, the Duke bomb, and a bunch of Temptations, and they wasn't doing anything. And then Danny Ainge came in there and got KG and Allen, and all of a sudden he's back to being an elite player.
Right.
So what are we talking about? He was clearly he couldn't lead a team by himself, or per se with lesser talent by himself. He couldn't lead a team to a championship like, I don't know, some other kid. I won't name his name, but he needed help. No matter where he went, he needed help. So no, he doesn't count.
Well,
Paul
okay,
Pierce
how
got
about
an Eastern. Paul Pierce got an Eastern Conference Finals run on his resume before they got there.
That's what I'm saying. So what about this? How about Dwayne Wade, 2006 MVP, champion, and then they have a little, you know what I'm saying, couple years here and there, and then LeBron comes, and then it's like it's now it's back all over again. It's like we almost kind of forget what Dwayne Wade was before he got there.
But no, but even before LeBron got there, they were still at least in Eastern Conference Final contention. They just couldn't get over the hump.
They weren't good. Like they won the title with Shaq, and then they got a lot of first round exits after that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of on par with what I'm talking about. Yeah, for sure. See,
Yeah, including Paul Pierce hitting the game winner over him. You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm saying. Like I think that sometimes when we look at the scope of championships, we misremember what people have done.
Sure, like
because it's all about
oh, my bad, bro.
No, I was just going to say because it's all about the championship, so we forget everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. I heard the question, but I don't have an understanding on what you're asking.
Like the Dwayne Wade trajectory. Like I asked, do you think that there's a player? Because we were talking about Devin Booker and how Phoenix is in purgatory and how it's really hard to see what their future looks like. Even if they move their players, we might see a situation where Devin Booker is just trapped in Phoenix and he has to go down with the ship in a rebuild. So if they were to rebuild it and turn it around, that would be like, you know what I'm saying, when he was drafted, Phoenix started out, you know what I'm saying, low contenders, and then they made it to the bubble. I think they made it to a Western Conference Finals. And then, or the finals, they made it to the finals. And then, you know, there was a period where the team with that star just wasn't doing well. And then they turned it around, like Dwayne Wade. Like I said, MVP 2006 championship. And then, like 25 said, bunch of first round exits. And then LeBron comes, and that was like nothing ever happened.
So you're asking,
no, I'm asking, can you think of a player, or can you name a player who you feel like had that kind of storyline? Somebody who had to go through a rebuild with the team, like a veteran who was on the team for a while, where they started out decent, then they had to.
You making me go through the memory bank on the hot box.
I want to hear what Unc had to say. He said something about some old timers. I want to hear what he got to say. You about to say like Bill Russell or something?
Yeah, go ahead. Run that.
No, I wasn't gonna go that far back. I was gonna say, well, Dr. J was kind of in that scenario with Philly. They did good when he got there. They had a moment. They got Malone. All of a sudden, they got Malone, Tony, and Mo Cheeks at the point, and Bobby Jones, and all of a sudden we got a championship. Then you did another little dry spell, and you draft Barkley, and all of a sudden you back in the playoff contention again. So he kind of did it twice.
Yeah, see, that's exactly.
But he wouldn't have got.
You know?
He wouldn't have got the.
I got one. All right, well, I got one then. What about Elijah one? You know, him and Ralph Sampson made the finals in the '80s, and then
Then they had the dry spell. Then he got his college teammate, over Kenny Smith and the Alien, and next thing you know, they win it again.
yeah.
As if Robert Horry didn't factor into none of that.
It's tough. That's tough though.
That's like I said, that's two good. One of them is beyond y'all timeline, and the other one you probably have to Google the videos for.
Yeah, because it's harder to find that nowadays because a lot of players don't stay with their teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I guess so like let's just hypothetically say Giannis didn't leave. And then Milwaukee won a title in the next 2 or 3 years, then he would apply to that.
I think he had to hustle for his jump. I don't think Milwaukee started out as contenders. I think he had to get his out the mud.
I mean, to be fair, the only reason they won the title was because Brooklyn got hurt. But still, I'm just saying.
I definitely feel you though, because he has been through a lot with Milwaukee. He has had ups and downs, so it counts. It counts. It wasn't consistent ups. It was a up and then a down, and then we got back up again.
I mean, you could almost argue. You could
Milwaukee invested in him.
You could kind of make an argument that Steph's going through that right now.
I like that. Those championships were I think it does, because those championships were like 10 years ago, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And he won, and he won with different teams, you know, so it wasn't, I mean, he still had Draymond, you know, and all that, but you know, like they were totally different teams that he's won with.
And he beat us just a couple years ago. So his championships were far in between, like at least 7-8 years in between.
Yeah, and now here they are struggling to get out the first round, and you know what I mean? Like last year, I think they made it to the second round before they lost to the Lakers. Or that was 2 years ago. I don't know what they did last year. Off the top. Yeah, they might have missed the playoffs last year, actually.
I'm talking about at any point between the KD championships.
They did miss it once because Steph was hurt for a lot of a season.
Yeah, that's when they got James Wiseman.
Is that when they got the number one?
Well, yeah, number two. That's when they took Wiseman. And then then the 1 year they had lost to Memphis in the play-in. Then they lost to like the Lakers or somebody in the play-in. Then they lost to Memphis. They lost because this year when they were in the play-in, this was the first time they've ever won a play-in game. They lost the previous 3.
Yeah, Steph definitely count. Steph might be the actual one. I said D Wade at first, but Steph might actually be the quintessential up and down.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So let's say the Warriors, and this is all, you know, obviously hypothetical, but let's say the Warriors win this series, right? And they beat Minnesota next round. Let's say they get the OKC. Are people seriously going to start calling it the Steph era?
Because is it even the LeBron?
Can you see them beating OKC in 7?
No. No. I think that they need another shooter or something to pressure OKC's defense. I don't think they got enough. And they definitely, I mean, they're getting pushed around and out-rebounded by Houston right now. What OKC going to do to them?
Hey, man, this all I got to say about OKC, bro. Because couple tell you, bro, like, I like OKC and I like everything they got going on in the front office. They've done a great job. The GM's done a great job. Fantastic job. They're loaded up. You know, Shea is he's peaking right now. But, hey, man. When they stop being so friendly with that whistle, Shea is a different player, bro.
Agreed.
He is. He is.
I think if you can find a way to keep Jimmy on Shea, I like that.
I mean, if this was 3 years ago, I would agree with you.
Oh no, bro. I think Jimmy still got it.
Well, the problem is that even if you did that, who gonna guard everybody else?
I'm not worried about that, man. Hey, you already know, OG. This the playoffs, man. We want the role players to step up. If we want them to try to step
Right.
up. You know, you really try to shut down.
But
the
no,
guard,
but check it out. This is my question though, right? Because so going with what you said, right? Putting Jimmy on Shea, and then let's just hypothetically say you put Draymond on Holmgren. So it's not about Jalen Williams and Hartenstein stepping up per se. It's about who's going to even challenge them. Like if you got Jimmy Butler on SGA and you got Draymond on Holmgren, you know who keeps
gonna challenge Luke
Hartenstein
Dort?
No, who keeps Hartenstein off the boards? You know what I'm saying? Who can body up with Jalen Williams? Like you don't got another big butt.
Hartenstein, you gonna put Kevon Looney in there?
They gonna get him off the floor. They too fast.
Not if they running with two bigs in like that. You said Hartenstein and Chet on the floor at the same time, which they don't do. They don't do that too often.
You know,
but they don't do that too often. But let's say they do go up that lineup. That means that Kevon Looney gonna be on the court, and ultimately on offense, that means that you got two great screeners.
But that's the problem. You only got Steph that can make shots.
Now you got Jimmy Butler, and then you got Podziemski and Buddy Hield.
Hey, last time I saw Jimmy Butler, he went 2 for 10. You know, Podziemski scores like 15 points every fourth game, and Buddy Hield, I don't even know the last time he hit a shot that meant something.
I mean, I feel like every shot means something.
You know, like Minnesota would be the one, for OKC because they got the McDaniels and Nas Reeds and people like that you can switch off and it won't matter. Like go to.
I was about to say this though. Even with a player like McDaniels, we didn't expect him to do what he did this past.
Yes, we did. But because the Lakers don't play defense and they don't got no inside defense.
30
I mean, I'm just saying we've seen role players go off before.
Man, McDaniels, this is probably his best career playoff series.
It probably is, but I'm just saying, like the Lakers, like people that thought the Lakers were going to make a run was just looking at names. They were like, "Oh snap, they got Luka. Oh snap, they got LeBron." Like, but they weren't looking at it like, but what about everybody else? You know what I'm saying? Because this is the league has changed, right? Like back in the day, you could have your Jordan, your LeBron, whoever. The best player always wins, but now these teams are deep.
Yeah, I understand the depth concept, but in reality, bro, and it's crazy because if you look at what I'm about to mention, if you just look at the stat sheet, you're gonna be like, he did as much as he could. He did as much as he could. I'm one of the people that thought the Lakers had a chance to make a run, and I won't just looking at the name.
What made you think the Lakers were going to make a run?
I like the fact that LeBron could be your second best player,
but he can't. That's the problem.
And
that's part of the problem is that he can't.
And look, I agree because Luka is not.
Well, no,
guy.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'm just saying.
I'm going that far. Hear me out real quick. I ain't gonna get lengthy. But anytime your best player not playing as hard as they can, bro, they can't be that guy. You can't be that guy half-assing, bro.
Yeah.
You can't be the leader of your team with 70% effort in the playoffs.
64%.
And when you look at the stat sheet, like I was saying before, like when you look at his stats, you're gonna be like, but he had 30, he averaged 29, you feel me, for the whole playoff series. Yeah, he did. But if you watch the game, you like, God damn, bro, you don't play no defense. All right, everybody says that. But I say that he doesn't even give 100% effort on offense. Like my guy doesn't. When he gets double teamed, he never tries to split.
That
the
sounds
double
like
team.
coaching to
He
me.
only passes out of.
That sounds
So
like
what?
coaching to me.
The Lakers, if the Lakers had played this series like they played the last two Oklahoma City games, they would have won this series. But they didn't play perimeter defense. The bench was ass, and they didn't have no local threat.
Hey, Cowboy Mike, I sent you the link, brother.
Man,
Because that Oklahoma City game that you keep talking about every 5 days is an outlier. It's an outlier. It's an outlier. That's not the real Lakers.
It was two of it. Okay, but it gave you a glimpse of what could be if everything
No,
lined
it
up.
didn't. No, but you got to do that 4 times in 7 games. That was just one time.
but hey, look. They won one game. We can just zoom in on game 4, bro. When they blew that lead, they had control of the game all the way until 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, bro. And the only problem is that the Timberwolves had 3 dark-skinned niggas, and Luka was just scared of them niggas for real.
That's not it. No, what it is.
Not scared. I apologize. He didn't match the Timberwolves' intensity in the fourth quarter, bro. They had the game under control the whole game.
Nah,
bro.
but this. Hold on, I'll tell you. But this is the thing. I'm just waiting for Cups to click my computer in, so I can get off of this.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, let me in real quick so I can respond to this.
It's just taking a second. Oh.
I don't think this is every 5 days. I just bring it up as an outliner when the Lakers are being approached.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
What'd you say?
All right. No. So this is the thing about it. The problem is that you're relying on a 40-year-old dude, who can't play no other way other than how he's played in his career. So when you bring in a dude like Luka who plays like that, but like not as well, obviously, but Luka plays that same way, and that's the only way that Luka knows how to play, you get into traffic jams. And then you get into that mode where it's like, yo, it's your turn, it's my turn. And if somebody's off, then Luka's not there yet to just tell LeBron, like, yo, I got this. Like, he might say it, but LeBron ain't going to follow directions, and JJ ain't going to make them.
Man.
You don't think LeBron has a problem deferring to Luka?
I don't think that LeBron has a problem deferring to Luka in the second quarter.
Am I hearing that you're saying that he's only effective with the ball in his hands?
To a large degree, yes. Yes.
LeBron?
Wow. Oh, I thought you were talking about Luka.
I'm about to say, bro, people say that he's one of the best off-ball.
But he doesn't do it enough. He is effective at it. He just doesn't do it a lot.
So, man,
I've always compared LeBron to Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are two dudes who are the system, who play their way. And if they're not playing their way, and then you got to factor in, like, I brought this up earlier too. LeBron starts pouting and bitching, and Luka's the same exact thing. So you can't have both of the stars doing that.
Man, I strongly disagree, but I respect it though. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. I respect it. I think that LeBron might bitch sometimes to the refs, but this nigga goes and gets it done.
No, I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm just saying that he's 40 years old. And then so when you got a coach that's going to play everybody every play in the second half with a 40-year-old on the floor, like it just doesn't work.
And where was he? But where was he in the fourth period of the last 2 games?
Tired. He's 40 years old.
He's supposed to be the second option, though, y'all. LeBron's supposed to be the second option.
Yeah, but even if he is the second option, and the first option isn't working, that's the point of the second option stepping in to do what the first option lacks. So again, where was he the last 2 games of the fourth period? Based on his previous playoff encounters and previous playoff games, where he's had double-digit points in the fourth, minimum double-digit points. The last two playoff games, he didn't even get past 5 or 6. So he was tied both games.
Bro, this is like saying if I hear what you're saying, OG. This is like saying if the Miami Heat lost when they had Shaq on the team and Shaq didn't do enough work, that we'll blame it on Shaq instead of blaming it on D Wade. D Wade was a younger player. He's supposed to be carrying that load.
You're saying Luka the number one option on a team he walked into with the number one option already in place.
And only 3 months ago, if that.
Right. And that was the other reason that they weren't going to win. They don't have chemistry yet.
I feel like that's probably the best take out of all of us so far.
I mean, it's a lot of things. I mean, look at the rest of the team. Like, Austin Reeves has never been a playoff performer. You know what I mean? Like, he might have an outlier game or two, but he doesn't consistently play well in the playoffs. Rui's still getting used to being in the playoffs. You know, Jackson Hayes is a bum. Like the Lakers are got a lot of bums that y'all were thinking was going to.
He can't be that bad. They refuse to play him in a closeout game.
Yes, he is.
But what was the bench score in the last?
They don't got it. That's the point. They don't got it.
And that's gonna sum up why they lost. The bench scoring was non-existent the last two games.
You know why it's non-existent? Because they're not letting guys like Gabe Vincent shoot the ball. Gabe Vincent took 2 shots last game. Like, you got Dalton Connect and getting no minutes at all. You're not putting the guys in who want to score. That's coaching. Like two guys said, it's not coaching to me.
Remember they
got 20 minutes.
My bad, Mike.
You let LeBron play 40 minutes, but it's like this card out there last year when he was 40 something with the Hawks playing on 40 minutes. He was exactly the same as LeBron, gassing it. You got to put him on a minute restriction. His plus minus when he off the floor was better than it was usually before. Usually when he off the floor, they play work. His plus minus was actually in the net when he was on the floor. You got a man. He did a poor job of managing them down the stretch.
Yeah, and the formula for LeBron is put a bunch of shooters around him.
Exactly.
And they had Max Christie. You know, saying they wasn't giving him no minutes.
Facts.
He went to Dallas and was scoring like 17 points.
Easy.
So that's the thing.
So,
LeBron
let me ask you a quick question, Pico.
I just wish we could pull up the last 8 minutes of that game and watch it, and be like, and we could give Luka a teammate grade for how well he played in that last 8 minutes, regardless of him scoring the ball. Like, what else did he? You know, like, I just wish we could watch it and observe it real quick, because game 4 they should have won that game, and then if they win one more game, then it's 3-2.
Why are you watching 8 minutes? He was a liability a whole series.
Because they lost the lead in the last 8 minutes of the game, bro.
But he was getting blown by every game. He was getting blown by in every game of the series. His defense is ass. No matter
defensive assignments were blowbys.
That series.
Anytime Luka stepped in front of somebody, 64% of the time they blew by him. That was an official
series.
stat.
That series. Like, look, Nico Harrison is a fucking idiot, all right? But that series was everything that Nico said.
Yep.
You can't win with that nigga. You can't win with any if you got a 6'7" guy that plays that bad of defense, because you're gonna have a guy on your team that's a defensive liability. Sometimes it's your big man that if you get him in a high screening role, he just not quick enough, right? And then a lot of teams got a small guard. You're gonna have a Jalen Brunson. You're gonna have a Trae Young. You're gonna have a guard where they're a liability on defense.
Luka would be a great player if he wasn't looking for bailouts.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I watch Golden State high Steph Curry every year. Like I watch certain teams that their main player wasn't like Jalen Brunson's not a great defender. You had to figure out ways to hide him on defense. They just do of just let him get exposed. And they don't.
But yeah, and I mean, and that's what I said. It looks like coaching to me.
Yeah, switch that shit. Like you have to figure out a way to still. When I play basketball, I play with guys that were great defenders. All we would do, we would steal possession. We would get possession. We know, okay, we're gonna double team this guy, swing it. So when they only got 20, they only got 12 minutes on the shot clock. They're not gonna attack the guy. Go full press. You got to go 2, 3 zones. You can figure out ways to hide certain guys throughout the game. You can't just go down court and say, okay, we know this guy getting blown by every time, and you just set your defense up, and they're gonna keep giving to the high hand. That's a stupid thing.
Hey, Mike, I agree with you, bro. You can scheme up a bad defender, but like, bro, I just don't think that he's just a bad defender. It's not like this nigga be getting crossed. It's like motherfuckers just go right by him.
So that's why you gotta learn how to. That's why you gotta learn how to play angles. You know what I'm saying? You can't run up on Derrick Henry. You got to get that angle.
Yeah, man. My thing, he got to learn how to start setting back. Give guys the jumper.
Man, he gotta. I feel like he's not intense enough
because nobody ever made him be.
Yeah.
And I think that's trash. Like if your best player is like that, bro. And look, one of my favorite players is James Harden, bro, and he's like that too, bro. And that's why he can't win a ring because in the playoffs he never steps up his intensity.
There are
bro.
times that I don't know about recently, but there are times in the past where I've seen Harden at least give effort.
Yeah,
he
me too.
ain't good at it, but he gave effort.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Luka just don't give the effort. Because remember Cups last year, Mike, remember that? Last year, Cups was talking about Luka has the #1 post defense in the league. They're like, yeah, because he gets to stand there.
I'm sorry.
He ain't playing no defense.
It was an official stat, bro. It was real, though. It was real.
It was real.
It was real. So you know he has to. He can do it. He just choose not to.
I'm saying as close as that series was, other than this last game, bro, it's like you can blame that shit on depth. But me as a competitor, bro, I just feel like those were
very winnable games, bro.
I feel like if you got a guy on your team that just let motherfuckers blow by him,
let me ask y'all.
JJ lost that series as soon as he played them the whole second half. That's when they lost that series.
Yeah, agreed. Well, let me ask y'all this too. How do y'all feel about Austin Reeves? I heard niggas telling me Austin Reeves was the guy.
He's a regular season player.
That's it. In my eyes.
I feel like until proven otherwise, I have to agree.
No, I like him.
Like the guy.
I definitely like him. I wish he wasn't on the Lakers because I hate them.
But I feel like to me, I think Luka is hitting his game a little bit too because before it was AD, Reeves, and LeBron. Even when LeBron kind of didn't want to handle the ball, Reeves would handle the ball a lot more. But the fact that Luka there, LeBron there's like, I feel like his game has gotten kind of lost in the sauce. He would have the opportunity to do more. I think.
Yeah, I think when you got a guy like, all right, LeBron, he gonna give you a backdoor cut, but everybody's watching him when Austin Reeves got the ball.
Yeah.
Like, all right, niggas looking for that alley-oop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. We know about the Austin Reeves LeBron connection, but when you add a guy like Luka on the court, I don't think I've ever seen him make a backdoor cut, bro.
Maybe he was a rookie. He was smaller.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like when Austin Reeves was getting the ball with Luka and LeBron on the court, it's really predicated on them playing one-on-one. And I feel like everybody's percentage go down.
You know what happened, Locke? Austin Reeves turned into the miniature Kevin Love. You get over here and you get in this corner, or you get up here at the top of the key. You ain't dribbling nothing. You just be ready to shoot.
Yeah.
My rebuttal is that Kevin Love was Rui,
and that's a good point too. But Rui was never. That's the problem. Like I said, like I think that the Lakers have two problems. One, they focus on names of players. Two, the role players that they bring in are still not necessarily role players. Like they just bring in dudes that they feel, hey, he plays well. If we put him next to LeBron, he's got to be better, whether he fits or not.
Like Finney Smith.
Like Smith.
You're Vanderbilt. Like they don't feel with LeBron.
I don't think they have a true point guard either.
They don't.
LeBron.
So let me ask y'all this.
The
We
point
were
guard.
talking about how bad
He's not a
was
true
on
point
defense.
guard, sir.
We were talking about
Hold on, Cup. Let me. I gotta hear the OG. You said LeBron not a true.
LeBron is not a true point guard, sir. He's
I
a
thought we were
point
talking
forward.
about Luka.
Luka's not a point guard
I
either.
disagree.
Luka is not a point guard. He he complains too much to be a point guard. He can't dribble between a double team, and he basically lives on the left side of the court. Every time he dribbles, he dribbles to the left side of the court. He's too
I feel like
predictable.
all good point guards know how to push the pace, and I don't think
Well,
Luka
I
ever
tell
does
you,
that.
that Joker,
I
that's
think
a point guard right there.
Yeah, he actually gets the ball and sprints down court with it, and looks to make a play. And if nothing is there, he'll make a play for himself.
No, and like I said, that's the problem because I think, and I know you said you didn't look at it this way, but I think a lot of people just saw Luka and LeBron and was like, "Oh, we in there now."
Okay, but didn't they do the same thing when they said Luka and Kyrie?
No,
Yeah.
with Luka and Kyrie initially, people were like, "That's not going to work." That wasn't as accepted. That wasn't as accepted until it actually proved itself, and then people were like, "Oh, they dangerous." But when it first formed, people were like, "Why?"
I don't know. I liked them when they first got together.
I didn't because I knew what was going to happen if they ever got to the finals or like played a team like Boston. That was what was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, remember, Cups, me, you, and Residente were talking a couple of months ago, and we were talking about putting Trae Young on Boston. And you were like, yo, the offense would be unstoppable. And I'm like, yeah, but there's two sides of the ball, and people would feast on Trae Young. Y'all would lose Drew Holiday, maybe Derek White, and it just wouldn't be the same because Tatum and Brown would have to do even more. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I think people just look at the names and go, this gotta work because they're only thinking that there's going to be buckets. Like the Lakers didn't lose that series because they couldn't score. They lost the series because they couldn't defend.
This is true, bro. I mean, shit, that nigga Julius Randle was going crazy. And again, like I said, bro, unprecedented 24 points, 27 rebounds from Rudy Gobert. It's just like, bro, that's what happens when you don't play a five. Rudy said, okay, y'all don't want to play a five. That's cool. It's fine with me.
Yeah.
His name is
You know
Will.
what I'm saying?
His name is Will Gobert from now on.
Ooh.
See, just like I was listening to somebody today talking about the Lakers should go get Brook Lopez for what? Just
He played
another
on Lakers
old
already.
motherfucker.
Shooting
They
big?
traded Brook Lopez before.
I know, but that's just another old motherfucker.
Literally.
No, I
Yeah, he didn't play good defense either.
I thought that was Robin they got.
No, that was Brook that they got.
That was Brooks that they got.
Yeah, an all-time leading scorer for the Brooklyn Nets, and he averaged like 4 points a game in this series against Indiana.
Before he started jacking up threes for no reason,
Yeah,
like Cat doing now, which ain't gonna get him nowhere. But okay.
yeah. Cat needs
So,
to average
I-
like 30. He needs to average like 30 for them to have a chance against Boston.
They're not gonna beat Boston. They probably
know.
gonna. It's 4-1 only if Boston has an off night. It's a sweep. It's a sweep if they on all cylinders. They didn't beat them all season. They lost all 4 games by double digits, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the
They was
last one they went to overtime.
Okay, but it's still an L.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
weren't.
yeah.
And I mean, there wasn't really no motivation in that last game because the seedings were already set.
Right,
But
right.
but even like I said, even if they try to make it a competitive series, 4-1.
Well, thank you, baby.
No, like the Knicks, like that same team that played Detroit can't show up, and that's the thing. That's the beauty of sports, is that it's not going to be the same team that played Detroit because there's different matchups and different things like that. So, I mean, game one will tell us everything we need to know.
Yeah, the Knicks have no defense, like internally. That's the problem. Like I watched Cleveland abuse them and Boston like all season. Like I'm like that's why I was like, I'm out of the Knicks because I feel like Their starting five is too small.
Which is weird because Mikal Bridges was just in Defensive Player of the Year races just 2-3 years ago. Anunoby came into the league as a defender.
Yeah, and I thought they go back and forth playing Preston Chua or Mitchell Robinson. It's like they can't have a set lineup yet. Like, Mitchell came in and gave us some good minutes when they play them. But I said like these guys are not getting minutes, yo. Like, I just don't understand it.
So which one would you play against Boston?
Mitchell.
Okay.
Because I think like, Precious is too small. Like he's like a taller version of OG. Like he can play defense, but he's not. He doesn't have enough size, for a strength.
When our guy going to get some more minutes?
Who?
Deuce McBride.
Man, I don't know, bro. I feel like he needs more minutes, and I feel like Campaign need more minutes.
Yeah,
but again, Steele's gonna play hard and play Brunson 30-some minutes a game.
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, they are gonna get hurt. It never fails every single time.
So does Holiday lock Brunson down or just contain him?
Brunson will shoot himself out the game.
Good question.
Brunson will shoot himself out the game. Like he'll be 7 for 21.
Yep.
And if it's close late, he'll hit a shot that you're like, where was that the rest of the game?
Yeah, I agree. And that's my dog, but that's been the holdover against good defenses for life. I was trying to hit that three against the Pistons because usually he'll have the legs in the fourth quarter. When he gets to the free throw line, and it's crazy. And the floor. So it depends on if they're able to free up all the screen and roll, but somebody got to be cooking. Like Cat got to be really cooking for them to honor that. Because I wouldn't be surprised they put Derek White on them.
I could see that. What you think about this Cleveland Indiana series?
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I think it's gonna be one of the best series.
They're evenly matched.
I think the biggest question of the series is what kind of basketball player is Darius Garland?
Yeah, great question, Cup. I agree. I think we're gonna find out. I think he has the ability to really go off. If he takes smart shots, that's the biggest thing. He don't take smart shots to me. I think Mitchell got the green light because he's the best player. He's more efficient. He gets to the line, but Garland is somebody I just don't know about. Before he was a dog, coming into the summer league. I remember him in the summer league and shit. Then after the fact, he got a contract. He got hurt. Came back. He's not the same guy, in my opinion.
Hey, y'all ain't tell me Ryan Garcia got knocked on his ass.
Bro, I've been watching the fight this whole time, and it's like I miss all
the fight on right now. I'm bugged.
I didn't know it was this early.
Yeah,
I had no clue. I had a long day. I didn't know the fight was even going on.
I think Canelo fights tomorrow.
He got caught by Rolly, bro.
Yeah, he got knocked down in the second round. Like he didn't knock him out though.
Knocked down, bro.
Rolly is strong. Like, he is strong. He just not that disciplined sometimes. But he good as a bitch.
Do they ban Halliburton, Daddy?
Hey, how Haney look?
I didn't see the end. I didn't see how it ended. They was dancing though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Haney won.
And the Warriors game is starting right now.
On
it.
Oh, I gotta get home for that. Definitely about to watch do they ban Halliburton, Daddy, for the next year?
Yeah, they did already. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, they banned them. Yeah, that's what they called for. I was surprised. I can't hold you.
I'm just trying to figure out why Giannis grabbed Mathurin head like that.
Giannis crazy though.
Hell yeah, he tried to suck.
He grabbed that dude like he was holding a newborn baby.
Literally,
he should have crashed out.
For sure.
I don't even know why people be playing with him like that. Like he like LeBron. Like I wouldn't even on some real stuff. Like you got to pick your battles.
I ain't gonna. Hey, Mike.
No,
Mike. I swear on everything, bro. It got to be some type of like crazy clause into like not spilling off.
Come on, he
gotta be
as a star, no,
gotta be
because, bro, like
he tolerates a lot. Bro.
The way I would spill off on nigga and take a little $1 million fine. Bro.
Me too.
Hell yeah.
You always know
everything, bro. Like it gotta be something crazy. Like you lose all your money, you lose your pension or something. Like
gotta be. Cause I know I watched it recently on All the Smoke, and Reggie was like, he punched Kobe because Kobe tried to show him up basically. Shot, and the game had been over. And like Reggie was like, I bet you won't shoot that shot. And he shot it. And he punched right in his face.
Hey, am I crazy for trusting the Clippers tomorrow?
No, I said the Clippers were going to win the series, just like I said the Knicks.
Yeah, I think the Clippers. I picked the Clippers in 7, so we'll see.
Did they close the Nuggets out?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it because at first I was like, damn, they are at Denver, the altitude. But then I was like, shit, Minnesota went there and won a Game 7 last year.
Yeah.
No, but what does Powell do? If Powell goes off, you'll be right. But if he doesn't,
and in
He does
reverse,
X factor for sure.
what Russ going to do? That's the reverse right there.
Man, what is Russ gonna do? That's the key.
Man, nah, I think the key is what Jamal Murray gonna do. Because that nigga, when they won that other game at home, bro, he had to drop like 40.
Yeah.
It's like, are you gonna come with that type of intensity next time?
Yeah, they said that he averaged 18 in the regular season and 24 in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a better player in the playoffs. We've seen that throughout his career.
But I think that what put them over the edge in that game, what is the Game 5?
Oh yeah.
I think his performance put them over the edge. I mean, Russ showed up too, but like, bro, he was like on some abnormal shit. Like they were fighting back, and he was just going like a 6-point run by himself.
Yo, I swear,
hitting tough shots. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do that again.
Well, Michael Porter might have a big game again.
I don't want
these Thompson twins ever learn how to shoot.
I don't want to pay too much attention to teams that are currently on the couch, but I gotta ask this last question about the Lakers, man. So Sherlock, you telling me because 25 had mentioned earlier about somebody being a bum. You telling me that even how bad Luka was on defense, you still would have chose not to play Jackson Hayes in that closeout game?
There's no way I would have not played him at all. Like, bro, you see this sorry ass nigga Rudy Gobert getting all this easy shit, man.
His name is Will Gobert.
We still got it close. Throw him in there for a couple minutes. I'm like, bro.
Hold on. We're not gonna disrespect Will Chamberlain like that. Don't do that.
Man, he looked like Will Chamberlain out there.
Don't do that.
27 and 24, 27. That's Will Chamberlain right there.
They had that one series or one play where Minnesota got like 6 rebounds, offensive rebounds or some shit like that, and still couldn't score. That should have told you how the game was going to go in the first place.
That's right.
Lakers had nobody. Julius Randle was getting off down low, and Julius Randle is what, 6'8"?
Yep.
If Julius Randle is getting off, it's only gonna make it easier for Gobert.
That's
he was bully balling the whole series. So to say you go small ball, I don't give a fuck how sorry a 7-footer is. If you put the tallest player against him at 6'7",
yeah, he got 6 fouls.
He's gonna have the game of his career. All you gotta do is throw it up to him. All he gotta do is jump to get the rebound. He ain't jumping over nobody. He ain't over back on nobody. It's just a matter of height.
Hey, but
and like they say, you can't keep height.
What?
That was. I'll say this: if Nate McMillan was the coach of the Lakers, that move would have never happened. But Nate McMillan
over the bench, right? He already on the bench.
He's an assistant. He doesn't make the final call.
You know, Rudy Gobert had 27 and 24 in that game. For the series before that game, he had 14 points. He had 14 total 25 total rebounds.
So he tripled his average in one game.
No, one game Rudy had 1 point and he had no field goals made.
Yeah, he was looking like James Harden out there.
In that one game, he tripled his season average, his playoff average for that series in one fucking game because you had a 6'7" dude on him.
Yeah.
And Rui does not play low post defense. He's a shooter. But that's the best thing you had to put up against him. You thought he was the liability?
Hey, you remember 2 years ago they were calling Rui the Jokic stopper.
Wow.
Hey, but look,
Come on, man.
I'm
Come
just
on,
saying,
man.
who in they
That was
mind, bro?
that was a totally different scenario right there. Don't do that.
Who in their right mind that's trying to win? And at this point in the playoffs, you playing for chicken. We playing for money, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck would have so much pride and self-belief in themselves as a coach to not at least put that nigga Jackson Hayes in the third quarter?
Yeah, definitely. Come on, halftime.
But see, that's what great coaches do. They know how to fuel their players up. You got a young player like Jackson Hayes. This nigga eager to play. He want to play. You feel what I'm saying? He feel the pressure. He noticed a closeout game. You feel what I'm saying? This is a chance for him to make a name for himself right now. Come in the third quarter and change the narrative about you, bro. Right now,
you more positive about Jackson Hayes than his mama is.
I'm just saying, like, bro, you know, like in playoffs throughout history.
I feel like it's not personally Jackson Hayes. I just feel like if you had anybody out there, bro,
that's right.
Something.
He wasn't.
No, I'm just saying, like,
but Jackson Hayes wasn't a liability on that game in that series. But that's how it made it. That's how he made it look like Jackson Hayes was the liability the whole series.
I'm just saying, good coaches is gonna use moments, bro. And that was a moment he could have benched him the whole first half. Like, all right, if I put you in, you got to get crazy. And we all know that throughout history, it's always a pivotal game that might have struck a whole run through the playoffs to win a championship, where there's one player that you did not expect to perform the way they did. You feel what I'm saying? You got to give that shit a chance, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
But that was the problem, though, because JJ put his foot in his mouth because he had announced before the game that Jackson Hayes wasn't going to play.
That was stupid.
So if you turn around and put Jackson Hayes in the game,
man,
he's stupider than you already look.
Nah, I feel like he could have just been saying I was playing chess, because why I'm going to tell the public my real game plan?
Because Jerry Jones make a fucking difference either way.
Hey, look, though, it sounds like coaching to me, and I feel like that JJ showed himself to be, just not ready yet to make those calls. Because no world you come out and you don't even play good one though. Energy guy, a guy that can, a younger guy that can play
big body.
I don't understand, bro. Like it's like they was like, yo, we can let Rudy just quit, let Rudy beat us. And like Unc said, Jackson Hayes was not the reason why they was losing games.
No.
But what was even more depressing to me was Connect never saw the floor.
That's what I'm saying, bro. How did he not see the floor not one time?
Connect never saw the floor.
You know why? Connect ain't
drafted him as a shooter.
You know exactly why Connect ain't see the floor.
I think that nigga won't locked in since he got traded, bro.
No, that ain't the reason.
I think it is, bro.
That ain't the reason.
I think that nigga.
He don't know plays.
The reason is number 23.
Oh Lord.
Man,
no. Look at all the teams that LeBron has been on. Besides the first time he was in Cleveland, you was talking about people like Channing Frye, Tristan Thompson, Iman Shumpert, old ass J.R. Smith. Like that's why these teams build the way that they do, because with LeBron, you're on the clock every year to win championships. So young players can't get me championships, so I don't want them on the court.
And that shit ain't work at all.
Like, who's the last young dude that, like, besides maybe you could maybe say Kyrie because he was young, like age-wise at the time, but career-wise he wasn't. But like when you go back and look through the teams that they played with, like when he was in Miami, they were playing fucking Mike Bibby.
Yeah, really.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing no young dude that, you're like, hey, give us some minutes and, make do something dynamic.
Hold on. The Coles kid.
North Coles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Delhi? I mean, you need young guys.
You said name one.
Okay, fair enough. But guess what? Dalton Connect better than both of them.
Yeah, that's why it's more shocking.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why the Lakers crazy. But that's why the
Lakers
was
crazy.
They could have went and got a young player a couple of years ago instead of Russell Westbrook.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the way it rolls, is that we got to win a championship. So we got to get vets instead of young players that can help us out.
But my thing is, again, like I've always said, LeBron don't make nobody better. every player that plays with him is worse. That's a vet. So as a vet, I wouldn't want to go play with him.
Excuse the Lakers for having a standard of winning trophies. Damn.
Yeah, but you know how you win trophies? You do the things that you need to do to win trophies.
Yeah, you gotta have a healthy nucleus. Like Boston got a healthy nucleus. They got vets, they got young guys, they got guys that developed over the season.
Yeah, but every management isn't the same, and y'all should be able to see that because there's certain teams that know how to build a contender, and there are teams that just, like y'all say, put names together and say, all right, go out there and win.
Yeah.
And until you got the right management in place, you're gonna have the same result. That can be good and that can be bad. For a lot of teams, that's bad. And they still try to figure out, well, why we're not winning. You could go to Atlanta and why we're not winning? Because you're always in the draft. Because you're always picking the wrong player. Because you go for flash rather than what you actually need. And then once you get what you need, you don't put the pieces around it to help the team get better. So,
well said.
Yeah, you can blame a bunch of scenarios on, well, this player made a difference or this player didn't make a difference, but it all starts with the management. Nobody questions Pat Riley.
They should.
Everybody questions Nico Harris.
They need to question Pat Riley.
Hey,
Pat Riley doesn't. No, Pat Riley doesn't get questioned because one, his name is Pat Riley, and people still think this is 1983.
Facts.
Pat Riley should have been criticized.
I was going to say 1980, but okay.
He should have been. Like, my thing is, you don't bring back Matthews.
Here's my question: Is he out of touch with today's NBA?
Yes.
Yes.
You give Duncan Robinson all that money. You don't want to take care of Jimmy, but you don't want to pay Max Strus. You don't want to pay Gabe.
Signing is Terry Rozier.
Yeah, Terry Rozier. Like, come on, man. Like,
well, that was a trade actually. That was
fucked up, bro.
A dude was shaving points, bro. Like, come on, man.
Like,
You're not developing the guy.
Think about it like this. Dudes like Pat Riley came up in the 80s, right? Where, like what we're talking about, you build teams. Like Jordan had to take his lumps from the Pistons and everything. So they had that Miami team that got to the championship in the bubble that had no reason being in the finals, and they didn't add nothing to it. They were like, let's just run it back.
Like, what are you doing, bro? You got to get better. Like, you gave Bam so much money. He's progressed.
Then they were the 8th seed. They came from the play-in. They made it to the finals again. So Pat Riley looks like a genius because you find these Haywood Smiths and people like that, but you didn't add, like, you were right on the doorstep of a championship, and you didn't get the piece or a piece to put you over the top. And then there was one trade deadline, not this year, but the year before. They said teams was trying to call him and they couldn't even get a hold of him.
Disgusting, egregious.
You know what I mean? So now you come into this season, right? You do all the things that you did with Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? And what did you get? What did you get for Jimmy Butler? You got what? Andrew Wiggins,
some Tic Tacs and
like you know what I mean? Like I do like Davion Mitchell, but
Me
still
too.
like, but it's just one of those things is that Pat Riley has had a team that was on the brink of a championship. They were beating Boston.
Yeah.
And he never. You know what Boston did? Boston said
they got better.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, you know what? We need Drew Holiday, or we need this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need Marcus Smart no more."
Yeah.
Pat Riley was like, "Let's go, Tyler Hero."
Come on, man. Tyler Hero, really?
Okay, so here's a scenario. Since y'all do the numbers, give me a scenario where Bam winds up in LA.
With the Lakers?
I didn't stutter, and I don't talk Clippers.
I don't know if there is one. I don't know if there is one because next season, Bam makes $37 million. The year after that, 51. The year after that, 54. Y'all don't got the assets to get that, unless you trading Luka. So I don't think
not per se Luka, but what if we do Jackson Hayes and a case of Bud Light and 2 Tic Tacs?
No, what y'all need to do is what y'all should have did 2 years ago when you had the chance. Go get Miles Turner.
Miles Turner didn't want to come to LA, and we didn't want him. He thought he was too good for LA. Remember that it was him. Remember it was correct me if I'm wrong again. It was him and Buddy Hield they was trying to get.
Definitely.
And Miles Turner was like, no, because I think him and Braun had something going on. He was negative of Braun and some shit or something related, and it was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. Them two can't coexist. But he didn't want to come to LA. I remember that part distinctly. He didn't want to come to LA when they had the trade rumors going because it was another Turner, Evan Turner.
That's way back.
But there was another scenario where he did the same thing. Nah, LA, hell no, I don't want to come to LA.
Kawhi did too, and PG.
Kawhi, Paul George.
What the Lakers should have did. What y'all should have did was kept Mark Williams. That's what you should have did.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out, and maybe you can help me with this. How you fail the physical, but you still on the Hornets?
Yeah, and not only on the Hornets,
exactly.
he probably had the best stretch of his career. Like he was like 18-11 after that.
Exactly.
So I have yet to get an explanation for that one. How the trade happens, you send Connect, he comes there, fails the physical, you got to go back and get Connect. I think that was the start of his demise right off the bat because you just drafted him, and now you just sending him off to Charlotte, which would have been to be a better scenario for him because he would have had the opportunity to play.
To get off.
Plus, he would have been in the familiar area because he played at Tennessee, so that would have worked out for him. But the fact that the whole scenario went down the way it went down is just like I hadn't seen nothing that odd in the last 10 years in the NBA. You trade a player.
It hasn't happened like that, but I think we're headed that way with Kuminga too.
Oh yeah, Kuminga, man.
Well, no, Golden State just straight fucking him. He did something to somebody.
Well, I just think Steve Kerr can't develop guys though. Like Steve Kerr has never developed anybody since he's been a coach there. Mike Dunleavy has done a poor job of being a GM as well. They just haven't had that, since Mark Jackson, I guess, implemented those things with that team. They're a totally different team than they were before. Like, yeah, James Wiseman coming there. They traded James Wiseman. Then they, who else they had? Yeah, I feel like he could have developed. Like Moody hasn't really developed like that. He hasn't really got the time on the floor to play. He's a really good player.
But you gave Jordan Poole better courtesy than you given Kuminga, and Jordan Poole was more of a disruptive force than this kid is.
Because Jordan Poole was light.
Somebody white for him?
Because Jordan Poole was Steph light while Clay was starting to fade away.
Yeah. I think Kuminga is like Andrew Wiggins to me. Like he's an off and on type player. Like you can't really rely on Kuminga when you really need because he don't have a defined role. Like what's his role?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Jimmy Butler came and took it. Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but if you don't want him there, and he hasn't done anything detrimental to the team, why are you fucking over his budding career per se? He ain't been in the league that long. Why are you fucking with him the way you fucking with him now? If you don't want him there, just trade him.
Yeah, true. Scott Anderson was the same way. Like these guys can really play.
Yeah,
they just get shipped off. I'm like, what are you doing?
I think this is only year 4 or 5 for him.
And then you had Wiggins and him sharing minutes at one point. I'm like, what?
Well, remember the Warriors were trying to have their cake and eat it too. That's why a lot of people didn't think they were going to win that title in 2022 because it was either are y'all trying to win a championship or are y'all trying to rebuild?
Facts.
And they were doing both at the same time. And Kuminga just got lost in the mix because he doesn't offer anything but scoring. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. But the problem is that that's on you to develop him.
Have to give him a role, like you said. Put a battery in his back. Like I watched Zubac. Like he wasn't really that good for a while. He's turned into a really good player.
Yeah.
You know, even Terrence Mann at his height, he wasn't really that good at one point.
You know what you do? You know what you do? You tell Kuminga, because you playing Houston right now. You tell Kuminga, hey, yo, look at this tape of Amen Thompson.
That's
do
it.
what he's doing on
Do what
defense.
he do.
Like, just
Exactly. That's it.
Be Dylan Brooks for us then.
That's it. He could be like a Trent Hassel. Somebody like, you gotta define, put a bat in his back, give him a role, and say, hey, I want you to take the best guy out.
But see, it's that same thing, though. It's that same thing I was talking about with LeBron, right? Like, the Warriors are a championship pedigree team. So I don't got time to develop you. I don't want to develop you. It's like jobs now, right? You talk about, like, where's the entry-level jobs? There are none. You need to come here and be an expert already.
Man, who you telling, dog?
But that's
where the Warriors are right now.
But that's the point of your assistant. Your assistant's supposed to be doing all that.
That too, yeah. But you look at Gary Payton II, though. Like, he came in developed. You're like an overachiever in my opinion.
Well, I don't even know if he developed. I think that he was just a certain level player that was only going to get so good. So they just said, do what you do.
Yeah. He gave effort, though. He played defense. Like, that's where it starts at. And his 3-point shot has gotten better.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I think Kuminga's got to want to. And again, I think a lot of times his personality is so kind of too relaxed. It was like what Locke was saying about those guys. Like, you don't love the game. You know, like, to me, I'm gonna try to fight to get on the court. Like, I'm over there acting a fool in practice, trying to get on the court. You know, so he's comfortable with this being on the sideline.
Go on and trade Pat Williams for Kuminga.
He can have Pat Williams. He's super trash. He's in the same mold. But I think Kuminga at least can play. Pat don't even want to shoot the ball, bro. He be wide open. Don't even want to drive. Do nothing. He didn't be swinging. So I'm like, bro, shoot the ball. You're wide open. And he can shoot, you know, every now and then. Yeah. On that Josh Giddey play, before that, he the one that made the three-pointer to tie the game against the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he doesn't have no confidence, man. Like, I remember Bobby Porter was the same way when he played for us. He had no confidence. He would have been wonky and just started shooting that shit every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So it depends on the coaching staff that they believe in that.
Yeah, so that's the thing is that, like, you know, like, I like what you said, you know, the way you phrased it, define roles. Like, what is my job?
What's my job, bro? What do I do? You know, so. Oh, Cubs, let me ask you a question.
What's going on, brother?
Oh. You said hold on?
No, I said what's going on, brother.
Oh. Have you, the video you played the other day, the Big Ben jump?
Oh yeah, bro, dog. Hold on, wait, yeah. Let me play that for the game real quick, bro. Yeah, like I said, bro, there was definitely some undertones in that, John, bro. He was trying
bro,
to
when you said that, it was the perfect thing because it was definitely undertones, and I think it's a bigger conversation. I think they're trying to, you know, combat and kind of give a counter to the NIL, John. Like, they've been looking for a counter the whole time, and I know how people that do this wrong. They look for a counter when they're mad about something. They've been waiting. You know, even to I really kind of reliving in my mind like the Jay and Dame John. Like, I realized through over the time, like, Jay was looking for a time to get Dame back. He was taking all of the trash talk, all the negativity, and when he found the angle to get him back, he got him back. And Dame never seen it coming. I kind of saying Bane is the NIL John. Like, they're mad at these players for getting all this money. They're coming into the league, all this type of. You know, they're not happy to be here. Like, we love. I'm not gonna score the tape, but like, just because I got money don't mean I'm not happy.
2-5, can you hear us? You still here with us, 2-5? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this, John. You still here with us, Lock?
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, here we go. This is Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's talking about Will Howard. Obviously, he's the one that went to Ohio State University.
I'm really excited about this pick. Don't know him. Heard some really good things about him. I just saw the clip that has been going. I guess it's been going around. I'm still getting to everything social media about the hey rookie or welcome to the draft or where he got the call and all that. His family jumped in the pool. You see tears coming down his face. I mean, to me, that's a love of the game. Not caring where you're getting drafted, not caring what round you're getting drafted, being excited to get to the NFL. I think that is what you want. You want a guy that wants to be here and just is like, listen, it doesn't matter where I go, just let me go. Yeah. Which I think too. I'll go on a little bit of a soapbox tangent here. I think that's one issue with the NIL. As we talk about that, I think.
And then now he's going into the NIL and entitlement and stuff. So I feel like, and again, I want to note, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but off the rip, he said, I like the pick, but I don't know the guy.
I don't know the guy. Bro, that was stuck out for me. How are you excited about a guy you don't even know you haven't even watched?
But then he's talking about his character. He's like, you could tell he just, I don't know him, but you could just tell he loves the game. He doesn't care where he gets traded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, screw NIL. Tell us how you really feel, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Who do you want to talk about right now?
Yeah, please. All this undertone. Just say the name. And my thing is, why do white folks think they're the only ones that love the game? Like, they think they just like, oh, they have all the passion for the game. Like, nobody loves the game like this. Come on, man. It gets to a certain point where if a guy's personality is not like everybody else's, he don't love the game. Like, why? Like, even the Cam Newton thing, like, I want to be known in football. Like, bro, those days are over.
All right, end of the first quarter, 25-21 Rockets.
You see, I think Shedeur got another brand deal with an airline company. Bro, we about making money. I'm not excited. All that happy to be here shit is over with.
Right.
Listen, the NFL is a business at the end of the day. They don't want your business acumen to be on the team. They want you to come in there and play, knowing that they're going to tax you a bunch of money to say you're going to play in. These are things that people don't talk about. When you get your contract, you know, you're not $40,000 up front. Your agent going to have to get some money of that money. You know, you may walk around with, you may say, it was RG3 said I signed for 14 weeks. He only got 8. He called his agent like, yo, what the rest of the money at? Taxes, agent fees, all those things going to play. So to me, it's like, bro, all that happened to be shit is over with. We trying to get as much money as we can get, but we've been getting money for years. And I'm trying to make sure I want to be in the top spot to get paid that $40 million, not get paid $4 million. So I do care if I get after that.
Why would I be happy about y'all shorting me? Like, why would I be happy about y'all intentionally dropping my value?
Exactly. There's a double standard to this, because he could have made more money staying at Ohio State for another year. They would have criticized him. They would have criticized him for staying for the money. But now he comes into the league, makes less money, and he loves the game. You either or. You damn with some people, you damn if you don't.
Yeah,
that's how 100%. I look at it. And then he has that's my quarterback. But he has a history of not liking certain quarterbacks or quarterbacks in general. He doesn't like to contribute to the development of a quarterback because he has the mentality of that's my replacement. Well, yeah, that is your replacement. That's the business of the game. But if you're not going to help the team develop a quarterback, you say more when you don't help the team develop your replacement than you do just sitting there. He is on record when they first got Mason Rudolph. He was like, well, I mean, if he's going to be the backup, he's going to have to learn from somebody else because I'm not teaching him nothing. He's on record basically saying that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't contribute to the organization's development of your replacement like you're going to be there forever, and you know you're not going to be there forever, which is a detriment to the organization.
Favre got away with that too.
But you hype Pickett, but then you turn around and say, well, Pickett's in a no-win situation. He comes in the first round, they're going to expect him to play, they're going to expect him to produce. But if you was there and you was the starting quarterback, you wasn't going to contribute to his development. You was going to be one of his main critics. You want it both ways, but you don't get called out for trying to have it both ways. But I mean, even in saying that, how many NFL starters we know that'll actually contribute to the development of their replacement, knowing that that's their replacement? the quarterbacks.
Oh, quarterbacks? Probably none.
Quarterback.
Quarterbacks are funny like that.
Okay. We know receivers, running backs, linemen, linebackers. That's something totally different because they understand that helps the organization. They know they're not going to be there forever. But these quarterbacks have a mentality of, well, helping you hurts me. Motherfucker, you done had your time. You done got your money. They drafted them for them to replace you. Don't. It kills me when I see that shit. It's like comical.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, he looked good in college, but the NFL is something different. Well, help him develop, sir. That's why
Tony
they
Romo
drafted him.
not an assistant to Dak Prescott, a predecessor.
Yes, I you know what? I like that one. I think Tony did give Dak, and Dak has said that numerous times. He gave a lot because they were still trying to put Romo in the game. Romo was the one who was like, "Nah, let the kid play." You know, so I give Tony. He in the press conference, mid-season was like, "Yeah, ain't no controversy. This is Dak's team." You know, I don't know if he was told to do that, but it seemed genuine. To be honest with you, you've never heard somebody kind of be like,
1 out of 100.
Yeah, it's only one. We get out the top of our heads. I think the bigger point was it was definitely felt and understood. You know, because those guys, man, they look at themselves as, hey, this guy's here to, like you said, replace me. It's like, nah, we want to make sure the team will be better going into the next couple of years. When you know for a fact, you start leaving niggas interceptions, you taking unwanted sacks, it's time to say, yeah, it's time to draft somebody else. It's the way he got drafted in. Tommy Maddox wasn't playing well. Same exact thing.
So, fellas, do we have any oh damn, I think 2-5 don't fell out the jump. Do we have any closing remarks? We approaching that hour 2 mark in this here Friday Smoke Fest. There anything that anybody would like to lead off with? Actually, Cowboy Mike, since you weren't here earlier, do you think because we've been talking about Shea, he's been the MVP hopeful the past 2 seasons.
Yes, sir.
Now basically begging us like, man, he's averaged 30 the past 2 years. We should just give it to him, right? Like can we just please give Shea an MVP, please? So
you sound like me.
We've been about him like he's God level, right? So if the Timberwolves were to win their next series and OKC was to win their next series and the Timberwolves and the Thunder meet in the Western Conference Finals, if the Timberwolves win that series, will we be talking about Shea in a different way, or will we just be talking about the teams differently? Like, Shea's still that guy. He's still better than Ant. It just wasn't the Thunder's night or their series.
Well, that goes back to how we felt, I think, all season about OKC. We're waiting for them to have that moment. Like, you went up against a team that wasn't as good, blew them out, you know what I'm saying, swept them. So, I mean, again, if they lose, it depends on how they lose now. Man, if guard SGA, he takes him out, it's going to be a different conversation. Like, I think his name will fall out of the game being the best player and for us getting the MVP going forward. But if he plays well and they just fall, they lose because Minnesota's a better team, then I think you'll still have those people saying, okay, he's still up there. They just lost to a better team. Even though on people, they're the number 1 seed. I still don't even know how they lost last year. I forgot. So, I think it's a combination of Minnesota. It depends on how because the Minnesota's losing, though. They got a lot of weapons, man. Like, we even mentioned Rob Dillon or Mike Conley. It's about the coming.
So, and Nas Reed, bro, this nigga's playing lights out, bro. This nigga's out of his mind. I don't know what got into Nas Reed, but I need to keep saying that.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, that's exactly. Nas Reed is a beast.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I just feel like, bro, if the Timberwolves to win the job, because I already see Ant, bro. Ant, he kind of up there with SGA to me. I mean, he's like, he might not.
I think he is. I think
he's 30s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think he is. And I think it goes back to what Locke said earlier. The intensity got to be up. In the playoffs, you got to be more intense. You can't be coming in that joint coasting and acting all cavalier and regular. it's the playoffs, dog. Like the game got to get a little more enhanced, you know. So he's giving that effort to be the best. I think. So yeah, right now, I know the MVP is a regular season award, but I just want, I wish they'll a lot of playoffs is going on because you get to see who was the cream of the team. Like,
I agree. I couldn't have said it better. So, yeah, fellas, goddamn, we done hit that hour 55-minute mark in this here Friday Smoke Fest, man. We appreciate everybody who came through the smoke with us tonight, man. You already know you can catch the Hot Box every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Fridays. Twice on Fridays for the Lunchbox and the Friday Smoke Fest,
yes,
man. You
sir.
already know I had the game with me, my dog. Spurs Nation Sherlock in the motherfucking building. You already know I have my dog Steel Curtain unking this thing. You already know I have my dog, man. Shout out to the One Mic Pod. He goes by many names. We just call him the One Mic, though. OVO Mike, Dallas Mike, DJ Mike P, representing live on the motherfucking ones and twos. Are we still throwing the foes up, Cowboy Mike?
Yes, sir. Debbie throws the foes up. Dak lost 40 pounds. I just need one weapon, dog. Get us Keenan Allen or Cooper. I'm feeling better. Get us one weapon.
We just need one. That's all it takes, man. So yeah,
we need one weapon. That's all we need.
Catch us again Sunday night for the Sunday Smoke service. We are rolling the windows down. We are letting the smoke out, man. We love y'all so much. Remember to smoke with us next time. Oh, and above all else, fuck Aaron Rodgers, man.
Okay.
And fuck Kevin Durant.
Niggas in 5.
We go.